You will recall that the economy of Nigeria ordinarily was based on year 2009 base figures, but recently, I believe it was last year, there was a redenomination. So the trends of inflation in Nigeria that had always been reading 30%, 34%, suddenly dropped to 15% because we were taking a new base year. But what is happening? Within just 1 year, those figures are rising again to about 30%, although figures in certain states may be different, and we have heard that particular states have much higher figures than others. There are states where the inflation rate based on rebased to year 2025, I believe, as opposed to year 2009 that it was, would read about 15.9%, but that same new base year will give 30% in some cases. That will tell you that had it been that we were still using the year 2009 base year, we'll be talking about 60-70% inflation figures in Nigeria today. Hey, we must all work together and make government accountable for this, and let prices of things drop, let inflation rates drop, let the people of Nigeria be able to afford whatever meager income that people get. I will always say it, that the minimum wage in Nigeria shouldn't be 35,000 naira, moving up to 70,000 naira just 2 times, when state governments are receiving allocations that are equivalent of 3, 4, 5 times what they used to get 4 years ago. The federal government is handling resources 3, 4, 5 times of what used to be 4 years ago. Now, some will come with lame arguments. Oh, the governments that are of the day, because of the redenomination of the naira, may not be able to do much relative to the governments of the past, because now the naira can purchase only a few things relative to 4 years ago. I'm not doubting that. I absolutely agree with that. But why is that argument only about government? Why is it not about workers? Is it not the same market that workers will also go? So if the costs of living relative to government and relative to purchases and procurements is such that government is saying, yes, we are receiving 5 times, but inflation has eroded it, why should the worker, the average worker, also not be receiving 5 times, and let him or her also now be sorting out his or her salvation with fear and trembling relative to inflation figures? The worker is shortchanged right now. Let the worker ask for a rise in the minimum wage from 70,000 naira that it is now to about 150,000 naira, and let government respond by making sure that is done. By the way, when people hear me say this, they say, oh, but you are an entrepreneur too. Are you ready to pay 150,000 minimum wage? And I say, yes, I'll be ready to pay it, because as an entrepreneur, I'm going to also increase the fees that I'm charging right now, so that I will also be able to take enough funds to pay my own workers as well. But a situation where right now, where only governments and people in government have access to riches, and then the rest of us are pauperized, something is wrong somewhere. That is why they are able to buy your vote and buy my vote, because they know we have been led into poverty.